Hey speakers, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So go ahead and like and subscribe and let's get started. Hey, my speaker fam, how is everyone doing? Hopefully, everyone has had an amazing Saturday. Hopefully, you were able to tune in to the episode here on tonight. Also, hopefully, how about tell me anybody, are you enjoying the actual Garcia and Davis fight? I was kind of battling, should I do my video right now or should I wait till the fight is over? But I opted to go ahead and do it now because it's getting kind of late. But anywho, I couldn't let my actual speakers down, so this took priority. So here we are. Now, of course, before we get in deep dive into the actual episode, please go ahead and like the video. It does help out a lot to keep, my page and my channel floating through the YouTube streets. So I will be noticed by other subscribers, as well as go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Join the family. We would love to have you. As well as go ahead and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time a video is uploaded. And we're going to go ahead and get into some things here. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with y'all before we get into the meat of things. I'm going to recap, but this recap I hopefully will not be long and outdrawn because let's just say this episode didn't really give as much as I thought it was. I'm going to just put it that way. But anywho, comment down below. Let me know how you felt about the episode if you had an opportunity to watch. If you didn't, I am going to still kind of give you the, basic meat and potatoes so you'll get an understanding of how the episode went. I do know that there are some people that are still, opting out of not really watching the show. Understandable. But anywho, it actually starts out with, of course, Leticia and Kiki in the kickboxing gym. It kind of start off where they left off from last week. And pretty much just sitting down, talking, going over yet again, what is happening in their relationship or, whatever they got going on. As I told y'all on the last review, I do feel like this is going to be a big chunk of Leticia's storyline. But here we have it. Here we are. But anywho, Tisha asks why Kiki, she asked why Kiki was so mad. Like, why are you so mad? And Kiki kind of explained that at that time I was upset with you. And of course, they took it back to when, of course, Kiki was fighting her addiction. And she said that she felt as though during a really tough time in her life, she felt as though Tisha kind of bailed out on her. And Leticia goes in to explain that during that time you were in a very, very bad place. She said, I even remember one time you come into my house and you got really, really irate and made the comment, F you and that baby. And Kiki, kind of looked and she said, I apologize. She said, I don't remember, but I apologize. And I have to commend her for that because very well she could have said, oh, I ain't say that, but I'm sorry. Or I did, she could have just really kind of, like swayed it off. But she, was being honest. I don't remember, but I apologize because Kiki also accept, and we've heard her say this in several interviews, that she take full accountability for her addiction, for any type of heartache or anything that she may have caused during this time. We heard her on her live last week, explaining that this is not something she's proud of. This was nothing intentional. This is something that she didn't, wake up one day and decide, okay, I want to have this addiction. So she took full accountability of that, and she apologized for something she don't even really know if she said. She don't remember saying it anyways. And then she goes on to explain that I felt as though someone had taken my best friend away. And Leticia was kind of looking. And now, of course, during this time, Leticia was pregnant at the time. And she said that, I had to back up. I had to back up. And that's totally understandable as well, because sometimes dealing with an individual that may have an addiction, I'm assuming it can't be anything easy. Of course, you want to be there, but at the time, she was also pregnant. And I guess she felt as though she had to do what was best for her, which is also understandable. But at the same time, Kiki is like, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Of course, Leticia is still on this trip with I can't trust you. Now, I'm not sure if this is coming from, and you know what? Let's fast forward a little bit, because I honestly believe that her lack of trust for Kiki has nothing to do with whatever may have all transpired during Kiki's addiction, because we have heard her say over and over again her biggest issue with Kiki is she felt as though Kiki came for her marriage. We know this. So if you're going to go with that narrative, then you also have to take accountability that prior to that, you pretty much shared some information with Mel and Martell that had nothing to do with them at all, that pretty much she confided in you. You, as she just said, you were not only a cousin, but you were like a best friend to her. And this was something that, of course, no one is out here with red tape on their head saying, I'm an addict, I used to be an addict, or however. So why did you feel the need to go and share something of that, something that that she would not have appreciated you sharing? So at the same time, when you're saying you don't trust her, why is it that she could feel okay to trust you? I mean, I need somebody to please help me break it down. Give me a timeline. If my timeline is off, let me know. But from what I've seen and viewed, you told this information to Mel and Martell. Clearly, they were still together at this time. Kiki just came out with all this stuff with the Marceau allegedly having pictures in his phone and all of that. So why should she feel that she could trust you when you took something that was important to her and personal to her and went and told it to somebody else that today you have speak to and have talked to? And from my understanding, from Mel's standpoint as well as yours, y'all were cool as far as the business, but as far as being friends, y'all wasn't like that. So you basically went and told a business associate and or an associate your cousin's personal business just because she was invited to a party. I don't know what you thought she was going to do. Go steal the silverware? Did you think that she was going to go searching through their house for pills? She was in recovery at that time. She was sober at that time. So did you not trust her to not go in somebody else's home? And, I'm just trying to figure out why. But you going with this narrative. But I said it in my last review. I do believe that this is going to be a big chunk of Tisha's storyline. And we all know why. A deflection. Tiffany want to talk about deflection. Come on over here and let Tisha know how this might be a deflection. But anywho, so they, pretty much they kind of hug it out. Tisha act like she didn't want to hug Kiki, which she always got to do the absolute most. But, they hug. She invited Kiki to the spa day that's upcoming. And pretty much that's where that ended. Thank God that's over with. Anyhow, going on to the actual scene 2. That's where we actually would see where Maurice and Marceau's dad actually come to Black for the first time. Of course, we know that his dad still live in Michigan. So they kind of, walk around. He give him a little tour of Black. And then they finally go ahead and sit down, smoking their cigars, having a man-to-man talk. His father lets Marceau know how proud he is of him and his accomplishments. But he said at the same time, I want you to also, you know, make sure you don't forget about your family. Take time for your family. And pretty much his dad was saying that it's one thing to be busy and it's another thing to be productive. Now, basically, when you're reading between the lines, you can sit up here and do a whole bunch of nothing and get nothing done. But you can also have 5 good productive days that will outweigh 7 days of being busy of nothing. Pretty much is what he's saying. Marceau said that he just don't feel like it's the time for him to slow down and stop. He's trying to put him and his family in a position to have generational wealth. I understand that, but at the same time, chasing money all the time, especially depending on how you chasing it, might not be the answer. That might not be the answer. And sometimes, to me, when people find themselves work, never no home life, you tend to not be really happy where you are. So you stay gone as long as you possibly can. Is that maybe what's going on? Because how much work are you really doing? Especially on a Saturday and Sunday. Really, you claim to have all these businesses, you can claim to have all of this going on, but none of these other people don't stop either. You don't stop, they don't stop, because what's going on here? So then his dad said God even took time, on a Sunday and rest. So you need to find the time to do it as well. And he said that pretty much he did that when they were younger. He said he worked. I want to say he said he worked for GM or something. He said because that was the only job that offered you to get overtime. And he worked and worked and worked and lost out on a lot of time with his family. And he don't want his family or his sons to go through the same thing and miss out on so much of their children's lives the way he did. And Marceau was like, well, Dad, don't feel bad about that. But that's true. I understand anyone that wants to work and make sure that they can provide and, build generational wealth. But at the same time, a lot of times, especially when you have younger children, you need to be there. You need to be present. You need to be there for those special moments and those special occasions. We've seen in past seasons, you didn't even know that your child had a peanut allergy. So these are type of things that you as a father that's in the household, that live in the household, your presence is a must, and not when it's time to go to bed. But then we go on, to the next scene, because that's pretty much where they left off. He's just trying to advise Marceau, spend more time with your family. And 9 times out of 10, this may be something that him and Leticia, how you can randomly be talking to your in-laws and you kind of put little nuggets out there for them to grab, so you hope that they'll have that talk with their children about it. So this might be a discussion that maybe he's had probably with Leticia. But anywho, moving on, we see where Kimmy and Leticia actually meet up at the little coffee shop. And Kimmy was like, well, okay, this is a little different. And why? I guess she wondered, like, why are we here? She said it's so quiet up in here. It's like a library. And so Leticia goes on and tell Kimmy that pretty much this is, you might as well say this is my office, because I done got kicked out of mine. Now I done built this business up, and I'm the reason why it is in the status that it's in, but I ain't got no office. So she go ahead and she tells Kimmy that pretty much she came in and Gino got his plaques and certificates or diplomas or whatever all on the wall. She said as long as they had the office, she never was allowed to do any of that. But he didn't came in like a thief in the night. He got his stuff on the wall, and that's no longer her office because that's his office. She said that pretty much she knew that Gino was coming on as a business partner, but she didn't know that he was actually coming. She, in other words, she didn't know he was coming to take her spot, pretty much. And what kind of caught my attention is she said she knew he was coming in as a business partner. Now, from my understanding, when you say business partner, that means that is another person that come in and invest, and you make investments together. So I'm wondering, is Scope now like, is somebody else a part of Scope that's in business now with them? Very well could be possible. Maybe this is someone, because later we'll hear where Marceau says that he has a lot of experience. And so maybe this person was brought on because they needed another investor in the company, being that Mel wasn't there anymore, or, so maybe they needed that. But anywho, Kimmy suggested that, pretty much you might need to sit down and have a talk with Marceau, about it, because, I guess that's not right. And she said that, you're gonna have to make sure that your wording and your timing is just right when you do talk to him. And basically, Kimmy knows how it go. You, especially, I'm not too sure about, well, yeah, even with Maurice, I guess you got to break it down and do the chicken noodle soup, or what they used to call it, some books for dummies, because the Scots have a way of wording and making you feel as though the point you're making is not valid. So what Kimmy is basically saying, make sure you have all your wording together. Make sure that tongue, do the best you can with that tongue and that speech impediment that you might have, allegedly, because you already know one false word and you out of there, and he gonna shut down on you. And we'll see later, pretty much is how it kind of went. But anywho, Kimmy receives a call from Mel, and Mel is asking Kimmy pretty much, are you allowed to get massages? Mel, I guess, wanted to treat her to a massage. And she said, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. Well, at that time, Leticia asked, could she speak to Mel? And Kimmy looking like, I don't know what you about to do, but look, I don't want to be a part of this. So Leticia agreed to Mel over the phone. And Mel was like, hey, you could kind of tell it kind of threw her off. But Leticia goes on and tell Mel about the spa day that she had planned, and she would like to invite Mel. And Mel agrees, and pretty much they hand the phone back over. She tells Kimmy about, further telling her about the massage, and that was that. And I can really see the growth in Mel, because one particular time, Mel would have been hollering about, well, let me check my calendar, or, but she's open. She's open for it, because she know and she understands the assignment of what we trying to do here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to the spa date, but as well as when it's time for my events, y'all need to be present as well. But anywho, Leticia then goes on to tell Kimmy that she spoke with the other ladies and they all agreed to come. And Kimmy said she think that it's going to be really, really cool that they all get together and, have their little spa date, which I think is cool. Kimmy said she's been out of the loop. It's time for her to catch up, and she outside. She ready to go outside. So then we go on to the next scene, where we do see Leticia and Marceau at home with the children. And pretty much they sit down, they talking, they eating. Well, it was actually a chess night. And I'm assuming that some of the things that his dad may have said kind of resonated with him, because, of course, this is new and different for him. They playing chess, having game night, they're eating, and, just making small talk. And that's when we go on to hear where Marceau is asking the kids, don't y'all miss mommy's cooking? And they all asking him like, why you don't cook? Like, one thing I can say, baby, them kids is on it. They on his head. They is on his head. They was like, why you don't cook? And then MJ bust out, uh, my spouse would never talk to me like that, especially if we've been together for 17 years. You better tell him you got it. Yeah, you heard him. You heard every word he say, and they looking at him like, what? They looking like, what? Wait, what? What you said? Because I guess it took them by, and then, Tisha was like, yeah, you can't never come up against a son and a mother, which is true. Them sons is gonna ride for they mama. So, but they all kind of laughed it off. I guess the kids go off, to bed or however, and then we see where Marceau and Leticia is actually sitting down. And I guess she felt that this was no better time than now to go ahead and express her feelings, how she was feeling about the whole Gino situation and him coming in taking over. And she said that she don't understand her role. She was like, explain my role with Scope. She was like, I don't get it. She says, what am I supposed to be a part of this company? Marceau said that she should be the person that do the hiring and the firing. She needs to sit back and play her role as the owner. He's the president, she's the owner. Then he go on to this analogy about Tom Brady and all of that. That woman probably don't even know who Tom. Well, she probably do know. Everybody know Tom Brady. But anywho, you know, basically at the end of the day, and that's what she kind of should have just cut it off. But I can say she did speak up for herself. But yeah, Marcel said, play your position. You hire and you fire the people, and you sit back there in the back and let that be that. And pretty much he says that he brought Gino on because he has more experience. He has more experience, and he felt that would be a good addition. Now you saying that Tisha is the owner? How she the owner and ain't got an office at her own company? Like, make that make sense. So it's kind of sounding to me the way she was telling Kimmy, like she got to go search around for an office. How you got to search for an office, but you the owner of the company? Oh, okay. Anyways, Tisha said that she didn't know Gina was actually moving into her office. And basically, Marceau said overall, he said he was too busy to communicate it. Sorry, my bad. I ain't get to tell you, but yeah, that's what it is. Leticia then goes on to say that, it hurts her feelings because she feels like Marceau is sabotaging her. And you couldn't have said it better. It does. This man don't show like no type of nothing for her. Like, this is your wife. Like, okay, the man has, let's just put it like this. This is, in my opinion, allegedly, you brought this man on because he didn't invested his money in this company as well. So now he has just as much right to this company as you do. He wanted an office there. You ain't giving up yours. So Leticia got to give up hers, and she'll find out when she walked through the door. With a Starbucks cup, she ain't gonna even have nowhere to sit it down. The end. I mean, this is just the ultimate disrespect to me. The ultimate disrespect. Leticia then goes on to say that was her space, and now it's gone. And do you know what he said? If you didn't watch it, oh my God. This man said, well, basically, it ain't no commerce coming from out of that office nowhere at this time. And she looked like, what? Like, he actually said that to me? Yeah, he did. He did, but it's almost to be expected at this point. It's cringy watching them a lot of times because we know what the dynamic of their relationship was in prior seasons, and then all of a sudden last season they didn't got chumming and all this, that, and the other. But now it's like that old ways it seeps out. It seeps out, and like I said, what just ruined it for me with them is them being on that couples panel because they were the oddest couple up there. You pretty much, I think they have been married the longest on that whole panel, if I'm not mistaken. Yet and still, y'all were the oddest couple there because it just don't seem like it's no connection there at all. It's almost like it's his way or no way at all. And he know this because he feels he can manipulate her to go ahead and go along with everything he say. He already done said it. He's never wrong. So he wasn't wrong when he put you out your office. And Gino took over. But that's, anywho, let's go ahead and move on. And in that next scene where we see where all the ladies then meet up at the spa. Now, of course, they all kind of trickled in. We seen where Kimmy, Leticia, Stormy, Tiffany, and I want to say Mel was actually the last one to actually arrive. Now, Stormy said in her confessional, it's good to be here. I'm just wondering if Mel's coming. Why you worry about Mel? You here. So why you worry about Mel? But anyhow, Leticia said prior to Tiffany getting there, she said that she's worried about Tiffany and how she'll act because she knows that Tiffany has an issue with Kiki. Yeah, she has an issue with Kiki. You probably also know that she's gonna be coming with all the ultimate shade, but don't act surprised. It is what it is. Leticia go ahead and pass out all the robes. She also pour everyone a glass of the chocolate in the bottle. The ladies all sit around. Of course, that's when we see Mel walk in. She greet everyone, and then pretty much back up. Sorry. Prior to, I have to make a point of this also. Prior to Mel actually getting there, when Tiffany arrived, it was just too much. Tiffany arrives, Kiki arrives, and pretty much Stormy make the comment, Kiki and Tisha, y'all really look alike, which they do. No lies there. And of course, you see where Tiffany is looking all crazy, rolling her eyes. And I'm saying to myself, here we go. So then Tiffany puts a sock on her hand and asks, could this be a puppet? And Kimmy was like, oh, like Kimmy, like, I'm gonna laugh this off because you're a trip. She said that, puppets are for kids. And Leticia kind of made a little smart remark because, yeah, I know you're coming here to be shaded towards Kiki, but nah, you ain't supposed to throw none of that shade this way. You stay focused. Stay focused. So, like I said, Mel then arrives, and again, she greet everyone. They all break up into groups of 3. So, of course, we had Mel, Tiffany, and Stormy that actually went into the sound bath, while you had Leticia, Kimmy, and Kiki to go into there where they had like the massage chairs. So, of course, back in the room in the sound bath, Tiffany, goes into this spiel where I was telling y'all it was so funny about, her coming and asking Mel all of this. Tiffany says she hadn't talked to Kiki and she noticed Kiki is friends with Mel. She said she feels she likes to be around positive people. And she just wondering how did she feel or something to that nature. I don't know, a bunch of jibber jabber. But anywho, that's when Mel pretty much goes on to tell her, I don't know, I'm peace. This is peace. Peace, be still. Leave me alone. Move on. So of course, she giving her, like I told y'all, it's like Mel was zoned out. I ain't trying to hear you. I ain't trying to let that energy you got come over here. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't none of my business. I'm doing me over here. I'm enjoying these colors and this scenery. And of course, Stormy and Tiffany is looking at Mel like she is crazy because basically they're looking to see what Mel has to say about it, because now this is your way of trying to pull her into this drama. And you're wanting to test the waters to see how is Mel feeling, which we all know how Mel feeling. First of all, Mel ain't feeling nothing because she in her peaceful zone and she wants you to leave her alone. But anywho, Tiffany then says, is this deflection? And Mel was like, no, it's peace. It's called peace. And pretty much Stormy says that Mel ain't for talking about Kiki. I guess Stormy, got the memo. Mel ain't trying to be talking about Kiki. Mel ain't trying to talk about nobody. She came here. She was invited to a spa day. She was not invited into an interrogation room. So why are we talking about this? Especially given the fact that it has absolutely nothing to do with me. Tiffany is doing too much. We at episode 3. I said I was gonna give you a chance. We want to see baby, baby Ace and all of that. But you doing too much. You coming across really, really messy. Now I know Carlos might have put that steering wheel in your back and told you either you bring it or you're gone. But pipe down because it doesn't even seem authentic. It's like you fake. You fake trying to be ghetto ratchet or you fake mess. I don't even know how to take you right now, but it just seemed fake to me. Like you really laying it on. Even the messiest people don't come off like that. Like, calm down. You still have a whole season to go to, prove yourself. I know you want to secure the bag, but chill out. So then, in the other room, we see where Kiki, Tisha, and Kimmy is in the other room, and they're kind of chit chatting. And Tisha said she don't think. Oh, I'm sorry. Going back. So they are in the room. Kimmy told Kiki that Tisha told her that they had talked, and she's glad that they're in this space. Kimmy also went on to say that she think that people should be okay to people to agree and disagree. Kiki then goes on and said that pretty much when it came to Kimmy, she was kind of mad and upset with Kimmy because she feels as though y'all went and told Tisha what I said, but y'all didn't bother to tell Tisha that everybody else was saying things at Mel's party as well. It just seemed like they were solely focused on what Kiki had to say. And Kiki kind of went over what she said. And she was like, what did I say that was so wrong? And she said, Kimmy said that, yeah, it was, others. And Kimmy tried to make Tisha aware that, yeah, I told you that Stormy also had something to say because Stormy really said way more than what Kiki did. And she didn't even really know her. So again, you was in somebody else's business, but that bone, well, Kimmy said that she did tell Leticia. Leticia claimed she don't remember ever hearing that. No, you ain't, because you ain't wanting that smoke. You only want the smoke with people that you think that, Kiki, this is your storyline. You want smoke, slick slide with Mel because things didn't go your way on that end. You ain't trying to have smoke with Stormy. For some reason now, I don't believe that you ready for that smoke with Stormy, really. Because you have seen how Stormy get down. Let's just be real. But anywho, Kiki said, yeah, she felt that everyone over exaggerated, what she said. And she felt that Kimmy instigated all of it, because she went and took a bone that you kind of really over exaggerated about it. And Tisha was like, well, she didn't feel that Kimmy had instigated it. She felt that, Kimmy had all right to come and tell her what was going on. But, they kind of going back and forth. It kind of get loud. And you can even see where Mel and Tiff and Stormy even get up and like, let's go see what's going on over there. And pretty much Stormy hadn't heard her name. So Stormy was like, now tell me more about Stormy, because she's like, y'all running my name. At least let me be over here to hear what y'all got to say. And Kiki said that pretty much it was told that, she wasn't the only one that had something to say in reference to Tisha and Marceau's marriage at the party or whatever. And she also, she turned that energy over to Tiffany. I also heard that you had a lot to say too. And Tiffany said that I just felt is the way you claim Mel as such a good friend, you should have been claiming your sister, your cousin first, because family comes first. And Kiki said, you don't even know what you talking about. Kiki looking at her like, girl, you better go head on because this ain't what you want. I honestly believe, because I had said it in my previous video, I feel that it was time for Kiki to come loose. And I do feel that as we, as the season progressed, Kiki gonna come loose, because you can kind of tell that she not even really liking how this season is panning out, because a lot of times they only know about their scripts and their scenes. They haven't really fully seen the show. And now she's getting to watch the show and hear what's being said. And she did her own live and pretty much she broke it all down. And I think that we are going to hear a little bit more and she's going to be a little more open. Of course, it was the first 2-3 seasons. So, of course, she's new as a full-time cast member. So she might have been a little more reserved, but I do think she gonna come up out that shell too. Because at the end of the day, don't nobody like to be the punching bag for long. I'm gonna let you slide and I'm gonna let you slide, but then eventually I'm gonna come up out this shell because you doing too much. So pretty much that's where it all kind of end there. Overall, I'm gonna have to give the show maybe a 7. It just didn't give what I thought it would. They had other than pretty much the situation with the spa, that's probably it, y'all. That, which I can't understand that particular scene was long. It was outdrawn because it actually ended the actual show. And they'll probably pick up again next week from this particular scene. But pretty much that was really the only scene that really gave anything. And that didn't even really go the way I thought it was going to go. But that is what it is. Anywho, if you got to see the episode, let me know how you feel about the episode. Let me know how you feeling about Tiffany thus far. Because Tiffany, to me, I know she trying to secure her spot, but Tiffany doing too much. You right about now, you're doing too much. You was pregnant. You had a lot of rah-rah going on. Girl. And then you could hear Stormy, calm down, take deep breath. No, you should have told her to calm down before she started throwing out all of them, trying to poke the bear. And now when somebody coming back at her, y'all want to holler about calm down, she pregnant. Yeah, she was pregnant before she opened her mouth. But it didn't stop her. But anywho, yeah, like I said, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know how you felt about the episode. What do you rate the episode? Again, I'm going to give it about a 7 because it just, to me, my opinion, it didn't really give. But that's in my opinion. But anywho, yeah, let me know how you felt about it. I am going to probably do a separate video kind of going over some little pointers in reference to the Stormy and Carlos King after show. It was okay. It was okay. Matter of fact, I didn't even finish really watching it that much, but it was okay. I'll, do a little short little video giving out some pointers, some important things that she may have said on there. But anywho, that was about it. Again, comment down below. Let me know how you feel. Also, if you have not already, go ahead and click that like button, subscribe, and become a part of our family, as well as turn on that notification bell so you will be notified every time a video comes up. And again, as always, I love each and every one of you. And until next time, have a good night.